Hey, this is Craig. I'm going to show you a couple little vocal editing tricks in Reaper, at least the way I like to do them. And understand that there's no right way to skin a cat here. There's a million different ways you can sort of get at the same process. I'm going to show you this one just because it's very simple and I think it's very efficient and works for all sorts of things. I mean, it works from gain staging, basically getting all your gains lined up before you start mixing and processing and all that stuff, and it works in correcting, sort of amplitude issues because when you sing, sometimes one word's a little softer than another, or you're backing away from the microphone, or you're just not as confident on that word, and it kind of is up and down. So that's what I was saying I heard in your track a little bit. So the way that I would fix that is I would look at this little vocal take, and I'm just going to play this little vocal take very quickly. It's on my phone, so it's going to sound like potato, but just to give you an idea what this sounds like. Um, it's a little kind of a soft melody song. So. Tell your dad I will beg him for your hand, and if he pauses, we can still run. So there you go. No, it's out of tune. I just literally threw this together real quick so I could show you what's going on. So I can already hear that there's several of these, and I can see it visually right here that this word, the initial word's quieter than the rest of the words. So I want to be able to control each of these individually. There's some software that'll do that. You can also do it in Reaper using an automation. So you can automate the volume. And when you do that, you set this little button over here on the track called trim. And when you do that, you get an option of all the different things you can control. If you choose volume, you get a little line that runs underneath of your track, and you can adjust that volume up and down essentially so that you're controlling just like you would control an overall fader. Well, that's wonderful, but it takes a long time to edit and smooth all the transitions and preview it, and that's almost a sort of a pro grade approach when you're way down the line. So this way is a lot simpler. So what I want to do is I want to be able to split this take up into a bunch of little pieces so I can edit them. Each word, maybe even each syllable. So if you want to, let's say that first word's a little quiet, I want to go in between the words. I'm just going to click anywhere in here and just hit the S button and pow. As long as the item is highlighted, I get two pieces now. And each piece can be turned up and down independent of each other so that they match. You can do it by ear, you can do it sort of by looking at the amplitude, whatever. So that's the easy definition of what I'm doing, and I can go way down on the syllables too, even before I can split right there, and you're never going to hear the split. And I can turn that syllable up a little bit, and so on and so forth, so that they're all even and they all sound right. Now, if you notice, I have a little volume control knob right here above the track. Yours probably, if you're still running the default Reaper settings, does not have that. It has a little line above the track that you can pull up and down. If you like the line, great. I hated the line. I wanted a little volume knob. So to get to that, you go to Options, Preferences, and under Appearance, there's a Media tab. If you click the little Media, you'll see there's a volume knob checkbox down here. Check that, click Apply, and you'll get this little cool volume knob above all of your item takes. And it's everywhere on mine. It's on my drum track here. It's down on my guitars. So everywhere that I want that to go, I can have those little lines essentially there. So, or I'm sorry, knob. So that's the quick and dirty version of that. Now also, if you want to click between your snaps, so if you want to get really precise, you'll want to choose Alt-S, and that will toggle you between bouncing where you can only click on the grid, and if you click Alt-S again, I can get in between. I can get very, very fine. And that's also very useful for editing, things like that. Like if I want to edit this, where this comes in, I can edit right up to the edge instead of having it snap back to the beginning of the grid. Say there's a little noisy piece in there, I just want to pull it back just a hair. So those are some cool little controls to let you split and start editing your tracks that way. Not very complicated, but like I said, it's immensely useful across all these things. And one last note is when you get this all done, you have a bunch of these pieces of your track. This is also very handy. Let's say you have this vocal track and there's one little line of it that you liked and you want to repeat it, you can split just that line out. I just want to take this line and I'm going to use it further on the song. I can copy and paste it and move it around, or I can nudge it, or all sorts of things. So it's handy to be able to split your items up and to move them around or duplicate them however you want to do, or to edit them so that you get sort of how it goes. And this also, you can do fade in and fade outs individually on individual items this way too, rather than the entire piece. If this was all big one piece and I did a fade out at the end, it would only affect the entire, it would take the whole slope, which I don't want. Let's say I want to fade out on each individual item. I can do it, since I've split them. Oops. I can split them and they're all going to be their own fade out there. So, yeah, that's kind of how I do it. And I will show you some more stuff later, but that was just a quick little dirty intro into splitting stuff.